Gifting a home to your kids sounds smart until it costs them $87,000 in taxes. Let's say you bought this house for a few $100,000 and a few decades later, you're gone. Maybe at 65, at 55, we don't know, but death is a reality. Your kids think that they are getting a free house, but because you gifted this while you were alive, something happens that almost no one talks about, and it can completely change how much your kids actually get. So let me show you the right way to protect your home, your kids, and your peace of mind. I once met a couple, Mark and Priya. They were in their early 60s living in New Jersey. They bought this house decades ago for about $100,000. It was fully paid off and now it was worth almost $500,000. When Mark's father spent years in a nursing home, most of his savings and some of the equity in the house disappeared in the care cost. That really scared them. And they both thought that let's give this house to our kids right now. That way Medicaid cannot touch it later and everything stays in the family. Well, it looked smart on paper, but years later when both parents passed away, their kids decided to sell this house. This is when they got the biggest surprise of their life. Since it has been a gift, the IRS said the kids inherited the original value. The same $100,000 their parents paid decades ago, they sold it for $500,000, which meant a $400,000 gain. And after long-term capital gain taxes, they paid around $87,000 in taxes. And all that money went to the IRS, not to the family. And here is something most people don't realize. When you gift your home to your kids while you are still alive, you lose one of the biggest tax benefits homeowners get. Normally, if you have lived in your house for last 2 years out of the last 5 years before you sell it, you can exclude up to $250,000 in gains and $500,000 for a married couple. That is completely tax-free. But once the house is in your kid's name, that benefit just disappears for you. And since it's not their primary home, they don't qualify for that benefit either. So if you ever decide to sell, the IRS treat it as a fully taxable gain. No exclusions, no tax break, just a big fat tax bill waiting for you. Here, Mark and Priya were only trying to protect their kids, but their good intention turned into a costly mistake. And honestly, this is not unusual. I've seen so many parents do the same thing. Gift their house, thinking they are protecting it, when in reality, they are just moving the problem from themselves to their kids. I understand it comes from a good place. Fear of nursing home costs, Medicaid rules, or just wanting to make things simple for their children. But the truth is, there are smarter ways to do these things. And let me tell you about another couple who got it right. Now, before we get to them, there is one more thing a lot of families try: the living trust, also called a revocable trust. It is actually a smart step if your main goal is to make things easy for your kids. When you pass away, your house privately transfers to your kid's name without actually going through the court. That process is called probate, and this trust helps to skip that process completely. Your kids also get a step up in value, so they save big on taxes when they sell it later. But here's what most people don't realize. For Medicaid or any long-term care, that house still counts as yours. And because you control it, Medicaid can still place a lien on it if you ever need a nursing care. So while a living trust is great for convenience, it doesn't really protect your house from medical cost. And that's exactly why David and Megan went one step further. Now let me tell you about David and Megan. Yeah, he was in cars and she was in gardening. They were both in their mid-50s, both working, healthy, and doing extremely well. A few years earlier, one of their close friends had to sell her mom's house to pay for nursing care. And that story again scared them. So they thought, we are in good shape right now, we are in good health right now, maybe this is the right time to plan ahead. And that's when they first heard about a 5-year medical look-back rule. I know it sounds complicated, but the rule basically says that if you move your house or other asset out of your name within 5 years or applying for the long-term care, Medicaid can still treat it as yours and put a lien on it. Tell me more. So David and Megan decided to act early. They created a Medicaid Asset Protection Trust while they both were healthy and transferred their home into that. And that started the 5-year clock quietly in the background. But for them, nothing really changed day to day. They still lived at the same house, paid the property taxes, and went about their life as usual. The only difference is their home is now legally protected. Years later, when Megan really needed the long-term care, Medicaid couldn't touch the house. And after a few years, when both of them passed away, their kids inherited the house at the current market value. No tax surprises, no court delays, and no forced sales. When I first looked into setting up a trust for myself, I'll be honest, I thought it is going to cost me thousands. And I remember checking with an attorney and the quote was around $3,000. But then I realized something. My company benefits included a legal plan and I was already paying around $10 or $15 a month for it. That covered estate planning already. So I used that plan, got connected with an attorney and had my trust created for almost no extra cost. So before you assume that this stuff is super expensive, check your HR portal. If you work in IT, pharma or any large company, there's a good chance that you already have that benefit. The other reason is it feels complicated. I mean, look at those words: irrevocable trust, Medicaid, look back, estate planning. It sounds like they all belong to the courtroom, not in your kitchen table. And finally, it is uncomfortable. Most people don't think about aging or what happens after you're gone. We are busy chasing our promotions, raising kids, planning vacations, and this topic, it feels like a problem for later. But by the time later comes, it is often too late to protect anything. David and Megan got it right because they didn't wait for the crisis. They planned early when life was good and options were open. Gifting your home might seem like an easy answer, but it can quietly undo everything you have worked for. One form signed too early can cost your family thousands of dollars, and one smart decision made early can protect it all. Money is not just about earning more. It is about keeping control even when you're not around. I'm your finance friend Sushant. I retired at 41 with just my salary. Please subscribe and I'll show you another money move most people get wrong. Your finance friend Sushant, signing off.